British actress Sophie Turner. We've got transatlantic here. Joe Jonas being an American. She's suing her ex-partner, Joe Jonas, stating she wants the children returned to their habitual residence where they go to school, where they've got friends and what have you in England. Now, on Thursday, lawyers for Sophie Turner filed a legal petition citing the wrongful detention of their children in New York. Of course, the press calls it a kidnapping and what have you. Now, the 34-year-old Jonas Brothers singer is American. He's seeking joint custody of their two children. But according to the legal petition, he's saying that the couple named England as their permanent home. So I'm guessing you can't have it both ways. If you've gone ahead and agreed that England is a permanent home, and then you're then maybe trying to keep them in America, it sounds a bit heavy, wrongful detention, but is that right?
Yeah, well, wrongful detention, child abduction is a phrase often used. They sound draconian phrases, but they are the words in different jurisdictions, albeit that are used. And so Joe Jonas says, well, this is a grotesque exaggeration using this language. But yeah, it's the language used. And if the normal place of residence that's agreed is not the one that the children end up at, even if it's in the context of, for example, going on a holiday and then the children don't return, still child abduction. Not only is it something that the family courts have a particular interest in most societies, certainly in our jurisdiction, it's a serious criminal offense. And the police, where a child has been abducted from this jurisdiction, they don't hang around and wait for a family court proceedings outcomes. They are on it straight away and treating it as such. I have to say, though, Tricia, this is such a loaded area. Many people listening and watching today will have personal experience of some of these issues. And isn't there a temptation to try to judge the issues in this case according to our own experiences, but we don't know the facts. Evidentially, we simply can't tell, I think, as to whether, as to what is unfolding. If there was a joint UK and US child rearing arrangement in place, then it's not abduction. And the sad thing, though, I mean, I have to say this, there are children in the middle of this. And even though we have all this interest in Joe Jonas, in Game of Thrones and all of that, litigating in public in this Hollywood way, can't think that it's anything.
It's like Brangelina, isn't it? It's like Brangelina.
But I have to say this, I was immediately suspicious as to how this story is so well coordinated. And it was only when I saw Vanity Fair's version of the story online in the last 24 hours that it became clear to me from the context that this child, that the documents in the New York court or in one of the courts had been leaked by a parent. So in other words, the choice of it being in public is being used essentially as a leverage, as extra pressure, I think, upon Joe Jonas, in order for the bad PR to play a factor in the welfare of children. I think it's important we talk about stories like this because it's really important to try to demystify some of the horror that can surround child custody proceedings, something that I'm not a family lawyer. My mother was. She did these cases.
Your mother's amazing. Your mum's was an absolute trailblazer.
Well, I'll tell you this. She could only do 15 years of these family court proceedings before enough was enough. It took too great a toll on her, and she was only the lawyer in proceedings. Imagine what it is when it's your own child.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there and I've done it. And I tell you what, at the time, you're so right. Looking from the outside, when you're in the tumble dryer of all of that, it is a very, very different thing. And especially if you're in Hollywood and you've got people going, publicists, no. And it must be doubly difficult